Islam, Islam, Islam. Hotel, hotel, hotel. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Que paso, que paso, que paso. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Power to the people, power to the people, power to the people. God bless, God bless, God bless. Alafia, 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 if I didn't already say that. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Just want to stay in love and have vibration to everyone. Everyone. I don't want to exclude nobody. Okay? I stay in love to you all, regardless of how you feel, see, or perceive me. Okay? You deserve to be loved. You know what I'm saying? You deserve the best. As long as you give yourself the best. But if I was to judge, you deserve exactly what your vibrations are calling for. Okay? So I ain't gonna go against you, because I ain't gonna go against your vibration. This is Moorishe Thoughte, where we share knowledge, wisdom, over understanding into the science of self. I'm your host, Dr. Bay. The authority is Chief Justice Durand with Murrell in capitis. And back up. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity. This is a sovereign, living, ancient. Article 3, Moorish American Al-Moroccan Consular Court Action. I am Chief Justice Durand with Murrell Bay in capitis diminutio nolo in red ink, in propria persona su juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. I and all Moors are the supreme law of the land. We are the creditors. We are the justices. We are the heredes. We are the United States for America. We are Moorish Republic, Moorish National Republic Federal Government. Okay? We are the power because we are the people. With that being said, I like to read from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Justise, by the guiding of his Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the sinful and fallen states of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God, Allah. All right, family, I'm going to read from chapter 36. Chapter 36. And before I read chapter 36, the vibrations that you're hearing in the background is Oshun music. Okay, Oshun is the mother of sweet waters. That's what this is called. Okay. Oshun is an Orisha, one of the Orishas in Ifa. Okay. Chapter 36, Holy Instructions from the Prophet, Know Thyself. I'm going to read a couple of verses. Weak and ignorant as thou art, O man, humble as thou oughtest to be, O child of dust. Wouldst thou raise thy thoughts to infinite wisdom? Wouldst thou see omnipotence displayed before thee? Contemplate thy frame. when it comes to dealing with self, fundamentally, it's paramount to acknowledge that you got a higher self and you got a lower self. Okay? It means you got God in you, which gives you the ability to do good and do great. Okay? And you got the devil in you, which gives you the choice to do evil, commit wrongdoings, and behave on a low vibrational level. In other words, be the devil. Okay? That's fundamental when it comes to self. Okay? Just in case that's too loud. It's fundamental when dealing with self. Now, in acknowledging that you got a higher and a lower self, it's paramount importance to understand that you're not always good. You're not always acting like God or always being godly. So therefore, at times, you behave and you act like the devil. Okay? It's important. Because the devil is a liar. So sometimes you lie and you don't acknowledge that you're lying. You know what I'm saying? Because a lie is a statement or energy that you know is false or you don't know nothing about. In other words, don't speak on something you don't know nothing about. That's a low vibrational thinking. Okay? Because you're trying to fit in. You're trying to be false. You're trying to be phony. You're trying to be something that you're not. Because if you don't know, you can't be what you know. So therefore, go shut your mouth. That's where discipline come in at. You know what I'm saying? That's where you refrain from speaking. Now, if a subject come up that you are very fluent in, be acknowledged and speak your piece. You see what I'm saying? But this is not about emotions when it comes to knowledge of self. You know, to know about your high and your low is to bring about a balance between your good and your evil. Okay? And when you create that balance, and creating that balance, you got to discipline yourself. You have to train yourself to control this, to control this, control this, to control everything about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have control, then somebody else got control. If someone else got control, then you are a slave to sin. Because it can be many sins that can have you up under their control. Okay? It could be fear. It could be greed. It could be insecurity. It could be inconstancy. It could be weakness. You know, it could be jealousy. You know, it could be insecurity. It could be many things. And these are the things that we got to save ourselves from by being mindful at all times about our higher self and our lower self. Okay? So therefore, you got to do some study. You got to do some research. You got to do some reading. You got to do some reflecting. You got to take out some time for yourself. Okay? You got to take a time out for yourself. Because that's divine love. Okay? It ain't no love but divine love. You know what I'm saying? It appears to be another love, which is your understanding of love. You know what I'm saying? Which is a false sense of love, which is a lack of love. Okay? And that's what we've been operating on. You know? It's because we don't know how to love. Because love is the savior of the world. You got to be careful. You're saying you know how to love, but yet you don't got no saving power. Ain't no saving power operating in your life. So the proof is in the pudding when you say a thing, but yet the manifest is not there. So you got to be careful what you spit out your mouth, because you're going to be acknowledged as the fool that you are, or you're going to be acknowledged as the wise man or woman that you are. So that's the reason why you can't play no games, because you play games, you're going to be acknowledged as a fool. You know what I'm saying? Fools like to play. So this is a time where if you want to be valued, if you want to be appreciated, if you want to be loved, if you want to be high vibrational, you have to put forth the effort and the energy and make that commitment. But if you don't, you are the devil. You are the fool. You know what I'm saying? Because you can only do foolish things because you lack knowledge. You are the deaf, dumb, and blind. You know what I'm saying? You are. Because you refuse to change. To be high vibrational. To be God-like. To be Christ-like. To be Muhammad-like. To be Noble Juhali-like. To be prophet-like. You know what I'm saying? Not out your mouth, but in your heart and your mind. Everything starts there. And if you ain't started there with what you say you believe in, guess what? You truly don't believe in it. Because as I've learned from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that belief, how he said, mere belief is nothing except that it is put into practice. So if you believe something, you're supposed to practice that thing that you say you believe in. You know. See, and the reason why I'm sharing this, because it's important, because when you say something, you got to be about your word. Your word got to be bond. So you just can't say I'm Christian and not be Christian. You can't say you more and not be more. You can't say that you're something and not be it and not practice it on a daily basis, because that's what you say you are. Now, if you're a deceiver, if you're the devil, and you're going to say something and you're going to act contrary to that consistently. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't hide from God. You can't fake God or his followers. You see what I'm saying? Real talk. So this is a day and time where it's important to be authentic, because the damage from being fake, being phony, being low vibrational is too costly. You know what I'm saying? There's too many ways and opportunities to be great, to be good, to be holy, to be pure. You know what I'm saying? To be true to yourself. That allows you to be true to your life partner, true to your mama, true to your daddy, true to your family. You know what I'm saying? True to your lineage. Honor thy mother and thy father, that days shall be long upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah had given thee. Okay? Honor. It means respect. It means to hold in high regard. And that's going to show in your behavior. You know what I'm saying? But you got to sit down and you got to analyze what's respectful about what I do and what's disrespectful about what I do. Acknowledge your higher self and your lower self. You know what I'm saying? Keep it all the way real, because there's a dual energy operating in you. Or let's just say it's an energy that you can direct to the right or you can direct to the left. Okay? Because you are that energy. You are that being. You are that one. That magnificent one. You know what I'm saying? Even though you don't acknowledge yourself as a magnificent one, I acknowledge you as being magnificent. You know what I'm saying? Even in your foolish ways. You know? That's why it ain't quick to punish one, because a lot of people speak out of ignorance And they think they're doing one thing, but they're really doing another one. But because they're acting out of their emotions, they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're trying to do. And they're trying to be successful. They're trying to hit on point, but they often miss. But they don't want to turn around and acknowledge, okay, I was wrong. Acknowledging that you spoke out of ignorance. You didn't take the time to seek the knowledge. You didn't take time to listen long enough to hear the story or hear the person out. Instead of being quick to want to fight, being quick to want to kill, being quick to want to destroy, being quick to want to vibrate low when you can vibrate high. Vibrate high is listening and speaking with wisdom, speaking on time, in time. You see what I'm saying? In order for things to work out in divine time. You know what I'm saying? And in the high vibration. Keeping love always the frequency. Okay? Love got to be the frequency. But you got to ask yourself, why are you always falling short of loving? Ask yourself. And that answer is going to determine whether you continue in your hell or you vibrate on a high vibrational level into heaven. Because heaven and hell is a state of mind. It's not a place of myths and bounds. It's not a country to be reached. You know what I'm saying? It's not a place where you can go and leave from. Okay? It's within. The devil distracted you, deceived you once again. You know what I'm saying? But if you're knowledgeable, if you're conscious, if you're aware, if you're vibrating on a high vibrational plane other than the 120, other than the physical, you know what I'm saying? The devil can't easily trick you. You see what I'm saying? Without a foe, souls never know the strength. So that's why it's important to acknowledge your weaknesses, because through your weaknesses, you learn your foes. Through your foes, you conquer your foes. And the devil can't come in because there's nothing weak about you. You know what I'm saying? Everything's strong. Everything's solidified. Everything is foundated. You know what I'm saying? Everything is known versus unknown. And since you know, when you speak with power, clarity, and authority. You speak with truth. You know what I'm saying? Because you are mindful, because you are conscious, and it's because you are responsible. That's because you utilize your time wisely, investing in those things that feed you what you need to know in order for you to overcome your low vibrational self, your devil. You know what I'm saying? So those who are interested in getting their life together, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter how. Because if something works, then do it. Don't matter the title on it. Don't matter what it look like or description. You know what I'm saying? That's cosmetic. You get caught up in the physical, you're going to lose every time. See, we're about the essence of something. You know what I'm saying? As long as the essence is God, you know what I'm saying? It can have 3 different coats or images or appearances. You know what I'm saying? That's your duty and your obligation to investigate it, know it, and be it. That's your duty. But that's if you truly, sincerely coming from your heart. Because if you come from your heart, you're going to hear God's voice speak. Say, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, this is that. Yeah, this is that. But if you're speaking out of ego, if you're speaking out of emotions, you're going to cause confusion. You're going to miss the mark. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be proven to be false. You know what I'm saying? If not, at that moment, eventually. And you're going to know you false. Because you know it when you first spoke it. Because you weren't certain. You weren't sure. Therefore, you didn't have faith in what you said. You know, that's why you're supposed to speak with power, clarity, authority. Because you're speaking on something you know. And when you speak on something you know, you're speaking on your faith. Because faith is what you know to be true. Belief is what you think perhaps is true. So you're not sure. But as your belief grows into faith, you can stand on it, you can speak about it in many aspects. Because that's part of studying. And you realize that there's a peace within you. There's a harmony within you that wasn't there before. You know? And this is your evidence to yourself. On top of the knowledge you gain, that what you're sharing and the way you vibrating is the truth. You know what I'm saying? It is the way. But you got to take yourself through the experience to know. The research, the study, the reflecting, the analyzing, the stillness. Okay? See, this book right here, family, is medicine. You know why it's medicine? Because it said that at the top. The divine instructions. Okay? Not just because it said it, but it said it, and then when I went into the book, it proved what it said to be. It's about its word. You see what I'm saying? So it's medicine to the soul. Same way you get sick, you gotta take some medicine to get better. Okay? On a physical level. But you can be sick mentally, family. You can be sick spiritually, family. So you got to seek the mental knowledge to cure your mental sickness because your thinking ain't right. When your thinking ain't right, then your mental is messed up. When there's lack of reasoning, when there's lack of willing, when there's lack of knowledge, your mind is now in a state of arrested development, in a state of lethargism, in a state of what's another one? Just think about some of the solid teachings dealing with the state of mind and the terms, you know, but them two is sufficient. You know, you don't want your mind to be arrested, meaning it's locked down, it's limited, it's bound. You want to be unlimited. You want to have unlimited freedom and assets. You see what I'm saying? But it's up to you. The will of man makes possible the actions of the Holy Breath, the possibilities of truth, you know, of success, you know what I'm saying, of progress. What you put in, what you get out. Okay? Same way with working a job. You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid no more than the hours you put in based on your hourly pay for those that got jobs. Okay? And you can't expect no more than that on the physical, working physically. Well, it's the same way mentally, fam. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing mentally and spiritually. Over and understand that. So if you don't invest in the mental, invest in the spirit, I don't care how many times you go to church. I don't care how many times you go to the mosque. I don't care how many times you go to the synagogue or the temple. Okay? If you're not sincere, you're faking. And understand you can't serve two masters because that's what pulls you away from doing good. Because it's the evil. You have an inclination towards evil. You have an inclination doing wrong. You have a satisfaction in wickedness that pleases you and you want more of it. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? If you're battling with it, you know what I'm saying? But you just giving into it every time, the urge or desire come up, you're a slave to it. So that's your master. Whatever you're a slave to, whatever you find yourself that commit to on a daily basis, that's your master. That's what they mean when they say the proof is in the pudding. You don't got to figure nothing out for real. Pay attention and see it for what it is. It's going to tell on itself. The flesh going to bear witness against itself. So all you got to do is be the seer and not the singer. Be the seer and not the singer. Because if you the sing, then that means you out there doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm saying being seen all the time means you in the light. And you in the light means you're entertaining. You know what I'm saying? And 9 out of 10 times, the opposite of entertainment is low vibrational. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever for your growth and development, mentally or spiritually. Entertainment is after you put in all the work, you go play. You go entertain yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know. But that's limited. It ain't all day. Okay? So the mental and spiritual work brings about the change. And you gotta take your medicine. And this ain't the only medicine I take. Okay? I got plenty of pill bottles, so to speak. I'm not talking physically, I'm talking mentally. Okay? In other words, I got plenty of books. I got plenty of material. You know what I'm saying? That I can feed my soul with and provide my soul with the nourishment it needs to sustain me on the mental and the spiritual level. Okay? And this is a high level of responsibility that the people need to learn in order to overcome and do away with all the evil in the community, all the low vibration in the community that you constantly complain about. People killing each other, the excessive drug selling, you know, the violence, the disrespect, you know. It all comes from the people that live in the community. Your minds is undeveloped. If you come together as a community and work together collectively towards the overall goal, everything changes. The power is with the people. The problem is that the people don't understand that they got the power. So if you don't understand your power and you're not operating in your power, you're only operating the opposite. And the lack of power. And the opposite of you is your devil. You know what I'm saying? The opposite is your devil is your God. You know what I'm saying? That's the battle that's going on in heaven between good and evil within every being. Okay? Acknowledge your God, acknowledge your devil in you, and win the battle. Win as many battles that therefore you end up winning the war. You know what I'm saying? Over your lower self. But you got to acknowledge that you at war, because if you don't realize you at war, spiritual war, then you got to be losing. You know what I'm saying? And it's only fortunate that you're still alive. It's only by the grace of the Most High Mother and Father that you're still alive. But they say that the Most High look out for babies and fools. You know what I'm saying? But they look out for you too in the aspect of using you to set an example for other people of what not to do. Because this is what can happen to you. Because you got to reap what you sow, regardless of your lack of knowledge. Okay? It just, the Most High Mother and Father going to give you a few chances. You know what I'm saying? That allow you to make a few mistakes. And then one of the mistakes going to cost you your life. Or cost you your freedom. Or cost you your peace. Or cost you your love or respect or honor or regard from somebody or of somebody that you value. You know what I'm saying? All because of your lack of discipline. You ran your mouth too much. You did too much. You see what I'm saying? you know. So death is going to create death. It's going to create the pain. It's going to create the misery. It's going to create the lack. It's going to create the loss. Because you feed it with your thinking. Thought is the cause of it all. You get your thinking right, you get your life together. You get your life together, you can be happy. With that being said, fam, hope and wish that my knowledge, wisdom, over understanding was motivational, encouraging, and inspiring to you in being your best self, in being your greatest self, in being your higher self, in being your godly self. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want for you. You know, for you to be your best self. Because if you your best self and you come around me, it's guaranteed that I can be at peace. But if you ain't your best self and you come around and you not at peace, then you subject to disturb my peace. And that's not allowed. That's not permissible. Okay? When it shouldn't be permissible to you either. If I'm not operating on high and you operating on high, you see what I'm saying? You know, you don't want nobody low vibration around you because you don't want nobody to disturb your peace. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nobody to violate your freedom. You don't want nobody to contaminate your love, you know, or distort your truth. You know what I'm saying? With all the lies that they believe in, that they've been indoctrinated and programmed with. Okay? So over understand what life is really about and why you got to make the necessary decisions to make your life better. It ain't about nobody else. Everybody got to be responsible for them. So you got to be responsible for you, fam. You know, so you got an idea on how to be your best self. You know, you got to put in that work and you got to stop doing what you used to doing. You know what I'm saying? That same way some of y'all get sick and die, or get sick and subject to dying. Some of y'all have family members got sick and died because y'all don't got enough sense to realize that y'all eating poison. You don't got sense to realize it's the food that's causing your illness. So when you get sick, you depend on the sickness, you got to look it up and you got to have this knowledge. You got to fast. You got to go without food or go without certain foods. Because I don't know, they teach y'all in the Christian church, if you keep eating, if just because you saved and you eat poison, God gonna keep you from dying. Well, I see Christians die almost every day. So that's some false teachings right there. You know, at praying over the food, you gotta, if that is true, then prayer means something other than what you think it means. You know what I'm saying? Praying over your food is it's got to mean something to the nature of preparing the right food to go in your body. You know, you just can't put no poison on your plate and expect for that poison not to affect you. That ain't how that work, fam. You know, poison designed to kill, steal, and destroy. So it's just created for. That's its purpose. So you can't just go eating it. You don't go out and go get you a drink or gasoline, do you? It's liquid. Because you know it's going to mess you up, right? Well, it go for anything else. Just because it comes in the disguise of good food don't mean it's good food. Don't forget the devil is still out there deceiving and lying and manipulating. And he can lie through your food. He can lie through your water. He can lie through the material that you read. He can lie through the TV, your entertainment. He can lie through your relationship. He can lie, or she can lie through every aspect of your life. That's why you got to be responsible and know the truth. To know the truth about your food that you put in your body, know the truth about the liquids you put in your body, know the truth about the people that surround you, whether it's your friends, your family, you know what I'm saying, or a stranger. You got to know it's your responsibility. When you don't know, you suffer. If you don't take the time out for yourself to know, you're going to continue to suffer. And it's by your choice that you suffer. So don't keep running to mama and daddy and sister and brother and cousin and friends and strangers to help you when you ain't trying to help yourself. Realize that about yourself. You know what I'm saying? The more knowledge you gain about yourself, the less likely you're going to suffer or be in pain or lose out. Matter of fact, you're going to start to gain, you're going to start to advance, you're going to grow, and you're going to be successful, fam. Peace, love, and happiness, fam. Y'all have a great rest of y'all Saturday. Keep love on your mind and enjoy this magnificent weather. Okay? Peace. Love and happiness. Peace and grand rising, peace and grand rising, peace and grand rising.